Stephanie Benchamal is listed as an administrator of the group chat, including several Beitar US members called United Zionists, which is both a group chat and one of the skeleton organizations that often appears on counter-protest flyers originating from these group chat members. Benchamal recently appeared in a since-deleted video on social media attempting to instigate confrontation with volunteers for the New York City mayoral candidate Zohran. Chat log shows members, including individuals publicly affiliated with Beitar US, discussing a range of plans and ideas. To protest at mosques, to burn Qurans to provoke confrontations, and coordinate buying pepper spray, lasers, and other illicit devices to confront pro-Palestine protests in New York City. The covert conversation took place over the past years. The city of New York became a flashpoint for conflict between pro-Palestine and pro-Israel demonstrators. This was that famous video. Remember the lady who harassed me? Asaf from New York says. Remember the lady who harassed me for saying I can do whatever I want, I'm Jewish? Talia and Murtaza Hussein got her group chat showing that she and her friends planned to harass mosque attendees, burn Qurans, and even create fake pro-Palestine accounts online. If you want to understand how insane Beitar is, the ADL considers them a threat. The ADL considers them a extremist group, by the way. This ADL thinks Beitar is too much. Because they are. They're an organization, 100%. Beitar US also appears to have had some coordination with local government, with one member stating that they were forwarding information to a local state assemblyman. In the same chat, others shared that they're collecting information on pro-Palestine activists to forward to the Department of Homeland Security as well as ICE. At least one active member of the chat claims on our public LinkedIn page to have been an NYPD cadet. Beitar US claims to have a sizable membership. However, actual membership, leadership structure, and activists remain opaque, with much of their public activity centering on a small group of far-right provocateurs inciting violence and hate against pro-Palestine protests and Muslims in New York City. The group wields considerable political influence nonetheless. They obviously aided the Trump administration's deportation program targeting student protesters and claim to be providing names to Israel's Parliament of Jewish Americans to ban them from entering Israel. That one is really funny. Anti-Zionist Jews that they say they're sending to the Israeli Knesset to never allow into the state of Israel. This is what I meant saying Islamophobia by Jews at a worse level than it is from Christians earlier in the day. No, this is one psychotic group, dude. What are you talking about? We just saw the neo-Nazi dudes murk firefighters. There are not that many Jews in anywhere at the end of the day. It is not a large enough, a significant number of the Islamophobic hate crimes, especially in comparison to far-right neo-Nazis. The group has offered bounties on prominent Palestinian activists and boasted about harassing mosques. The group's incitement earned them an extremism label by the ADL, a fellow pro-Israel organization with a separate history of targeting pro-Palestine activists. Yeah, the ADL and Beitar duke it out with one another because they both want someone like myself arrested and potentially deported, despite the fact that I'm an American citizen. One wants to do it in a more hands-on way where they like directly, actively confront me physically. The other wants to do it through the legal route, you know, that kind of situation. Yeah, they're like, this grift is not, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. Both will call the manager at some point. Based on public records and social media activity, it appears Beitar US is largely, if not solely, active in New York City, with much of their energy centered on countering local pro-Palestine demonstrators. Group chat members operate under their real names and phone numbers, which DropSite verified and redacted. After members learned portions of their conversation had been made public, they urged each other to change their names and phone numbers to obscure their identities before purging the chats. DropSite obtained the chat contents prior to the purge. While the chat logs obtained by DropSite are not explicitly referred to as Beitar US chats, numerous individuals within the chats have publicly identified themselves as members of Beitar US, including the founder and a prominent New York City public relations firm, Ron Tarosian, or have been tagged in media published exclusively and originally from Beitar US accounts. Stephanie Benchamal is listed as an administrator of the group chat, including several Beitar US members called United Zionists, which is both a group chat and one of the skeleton organizations that often appears on counter-protest flyers originating from these group chat members. Benchamal recently appeared in a since-deleted video on social media attempting to instigate confrontation with volunteers for the New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. If you recall, Beitar itself published that video in which She literally told the person, I can do whatever I want. I'm Jewish, which I thought was very funny. Condemning optics, not violence. In the chat, the topic of protesting mosques was frequently discussed. We are most definitely marching in front of a mosque, one individual identified as Andrew Ziedman said last summer. Certainly very pro-Trump, pro-America groups would enjoy engaging goats, he added, using a slur to refer to Muslims. Hit them when they're not expecting, replied far-right activist Dana Andrea Morgan, who identifies herself as an NYPD cadet. Morgan is credited with creating and distributing a flyer for a protest against a mosque in Brooklyn. The protest sought to harass a Muslim house of worship in retaliation for a protest against an illegal land sale event that took place at a synagogue earlier this month. It was widely condemned by local politicians, including Mayor Eric Adams, who counts Beitar founder Ron Tarosian as an associate. Self-proclaimed Beitar U.S. founder Ron Tarosian chimed in, noting that Beitar would not endorse the protest, citing security reasons. We are against mosque marches at this time. Unless we have more people, it's unsafe. They were worried that they get their ass beat if they did that. That's funny. They're like, hey, listen, we love doing hate crimes. Okay? But we can't do it right now because we simply don't have enough people to do a hate crime. Because if we do a hate crime, we're going to get our ass beat. Read the first paragraph of Danny Danon. What? Oh, he was a former leader of the World Beitar Organization. I didn't know that Danny Danon was a former leader of the World Beitar Organization. Oh, terrorist children. These children. Well, he's moved on to bigger and better things. My favorite dipshit. Danny Danon. Why? Are you anti-Semitic? Remember that flyer to harass a mosque? Beitar claimed it was fake. No one in the community knew about it, except they did. Beitar founder Eric Adams for New York City, an associate Ron Tarosian said privately Beitar couldn't endorse it because they didn't have numbers at this time. The chat show, it's so funny that these guys are desperately trying to do like hate crimes against Muslims, don't have enough people. Like the reason why people went to a synagogue to protest wasn't because it is a Jewish place of worship. It was because they were selling stolen land, illegally selling stolen land in the West Bank. Okay? Obviously, you're not going to be able to get the numbers to just like randomly commit a hate crime at a mosque. Like, bring American and Israeli flags, please. But also, we can't really do that because we don't have enough numbers. Come on, guys. Come on. Like, Beitar guys are probably freaking out that Zohran Mamdani won the primary because they're like, we really don't have the numbers at all. The chat show what's been plainly obvious on the ground, but lately ignored by city admins. There's a group of far-right extremists and Islamophobic bigots explicitly coordinating to incite violence against pro-Palestine demos, people in Muslim space in New York City. The chats also give insight into Beitar, an extremist group that loves to post inciting content online and claims to be providing deportation lists of student activists. The chat suggests Beitar, like United Zionists run by Stephanie Ben-Shamal, Lions of Israel in America run by Ronan Levy, and the rest of these illegible logos. Beitar seems largely skeletal, the facade of unified organization much smaller than advertised. That also makes sense as to why there's always like 3 guys at these counter protests. Like whenever there's like a mass mobilization that takes place and there's like hundreds of people minimum, if not thousands, there's always like 3 lone dudes being like 3 lone dudes trying to fight and then run behind the cops. It's genuinely shocking that all of Beitar's members could not have elected Whitney Tilson. I thought they had the numbers. Yeah. Half of the people I'm willing to bet in these group chats are already people like Brace that are, you know, reading the group chats so that they can make podcasts about it, or Talia, so they can deliver reporting on it to Dropsite. Like, they don't have any motion. It's literally like 1 to 2 rabid Islamophobic psychopaths. Also, why would you take matters into your own hands when the American government is on your side anyway? You know what I mean? That's why I never understood like the pro-Israel rally that took place in DC. It's like, what do you want? More? You literally are getting everything you want. You don't do a protest if the government is on your side. Then it's just a parade, you know? It doesn't make any sense. That's the reason why they don't have any numbers, because it's like, even if someone were to agree with them, they'd be like, why would I put my life on the line? Why would I identify with this publicly when everything I want is already happening? Like, not included in the reporting, but my favorite part is where they blew up the chats because one of them thought I had gotten access after a random account posted selection screenshots from the chat. They thought they had booted me by that point. I was never in the chat. There were multiple people who were in the chats leaking from them. Some of it sparked by that call to harass a mosque. When Brazen and Talia become fake members of Beitar to lampoon or report on them, Beitar's total membership probably goes up 25 to 50%. That's the other thing. It's got to be hard. Oh, yeah, this was funny. When, Beitar Worldwide posted this after Zoran won. Evacuate New York City. Come home to Israel. And then, wait, I think, someone... So Yaakov Wolf said, you first, and then the account was Israel. Imagine if Muslims were planning to attack a synagogue. Yes, I can imagine, especially because people have, not just Muslims, pro-Palestinians have mobilized against not like random synagogues, but synagogues that were engaging in an illegal thing, okay? An incredibly immoral and incredibly illegal thing, such as selling stolen land in the West Bank. Okay. And that was roundly criticized as an anti-Semitic hate crime, which is crazy. What is the actual crime is that a place of worship is being used as a mechanism of displacement and land theft. What the? Yeah, this is what I was talking about. We urge all Jews to evacuate New York City. You first. We are in Israel. Also, Beitar is onto something with this one. ChatGPT is woke and pro-Palestine. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of schizo dudes, man. They just like get together and talk about how much people hate Israel or something. Like that's all this is. I give notes with blinding these. Do it. No, he is not a no hats off. He sucker punched a female while she was bending down. She put off the fire. F her. Who has the connections to ICE? In my opinion, many should be arrested. Oh, I'll smoke a joint off the burning Quran and a burning pic of Nasrallah, lol. We are most definitely marching in front of a mosque. I have recruited major non-Jewish allies who will join me. Let her be confused. We will also be marching in front of her Staten Island home. Hit them when they're not expecting. In their internal chats, members and supporters of the groups discuss ways of provoking street confrontations. They want to burn a Quran, all this stuff. Oh. Yeah, also, Beitar is, all jokes aside, directly responsible for harming Columbia students. They reached out to government officials to facilitate Mahmoud Khalil's kidnapping. We demanded elected officials, including the mayor and the comptroller, to address this before someone is killed. Jessica Tisch, the police commissioner. There is something that happens, like, I don't know what it is. Like, there is just something that happens to your brain where you just become like a genuine villain when you seek out the defense of the indefensible, which is the apartheid state of Israel and its genocide of the Palestinians.